Wreck-It Ralph mega fans seem to agree. So if you've ever wondered what Wreck-It Ralph would look like in real life, make sure to stick around until the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and give this video a big thumbs up. Now join us as we take a look at 10 Wreck-It Ralph characters in real life. Dr. Eggman. What happens when you combine a genius-level IQ with a gigantic mustache? Well, you get Dr. Eggman, of course. This mustachioed supervillain is primarily known from his role in the Sonic the Hedgehog series, where he is constantly trying to take over the world. Dr. Eggman was originally designed in 1990 and quickly became one of the most memorable nemeses in the Sonic series. The character was intended to be the opposite of Sonic the Hedgehog. Whereas Sonic represents good and the natural world, Dr. Eggman represents the world of development, machinery, and automation. Yes, this supervillain uses his superior intelligence to turn the natural world against itself. He has been known to turn animals into fighting machines and to summon ancient deities bent on global destruction. Although Dr. Eggman is immensely powerful and intelligent, Sonic somehow always manages to thwart his plans. You know what they say, you can't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs. And while Dr. Eggman's motives are surely evil, he does have a pretty cool car called the Eggmobile. Even cooler than his car is Dr. Eggman's awesome cameo in Wreck-It Ralph. Although the appearance was brief, it was enough for one fan to get decked out in full Dr. Eggman costume. With a bald head, huge mustache, and the villain's recognizable shades, this costume totally nails it. Rancis Fluggerbutter. If you like candy as much as we do, you would certainly get along well with Rancis Fluggerbutter. You may remember Rancis as one of the racers from Sugar Rush. On the outside, he seems like he would be the sweetest boy around. How could someone with a peanut butter cup as a hat not be super nice? Well, don't judge a book by its cover, because Rancis isn't actually all that sweet. That's right, this candy-loving little boy actually bullies Vanellope for her status as a glitch. Bad Rancis. Even though he may not be a very kind boy, one fan thought he was still memorable enough to emulate. This fan did such an incredible job dressing up as Rancis that we have to take a closer look. One of the first things you notice about this young racer is his manicured, bright blonde hair. This fan really went all out and somehow found the perfect wig to capture Rancis's signature swooping curls. Now, if you think that's impressive, just take a look at his hat. That's right, this fan managed to put together an incredible peanut butter cup hat to complete the outfit. Let's just hope it doesn't melt. Here we can also see that young Rancis is posing for a picture with none other than Gloyd Orangeboar. Gloyd's looking pretty good, decked out with his cane and little pumpkin hat. Taffyta Muttonfudge. If you weren't watching the movie closely, you may have missed the sweet but sour Taffyta Muttonfudge. Taffyta appears in the racing game Sugar Rush and is known as a highly skilled racer. In fact, she is only bested by the one and only King Candy. Thanks to all of her racing accomplishments, she's developed quite an ego and a confidence bordering on arrogance. At the same time, Taffyta is quite charismatic and is always quick to put on a sweet face. Because of that, she is really quite popular. Did you know that she is actually the leader of some of the racers? That's right, and she considers Candlehead and Rancis Fluggerbutter among some of her closest friends. But don't be fooled by her outgoing persona, as this young lady is as fierce and competitive as they get. Along with Rancis, Taffyta takes every opportunity to bully and pick on poor Vanellope. By the end of the movie, though, Taffyta is put in her place, as it is revealed that Vanellope is actually the rightful ruler of Sugar Rush. Perhaps it is this moment that our fan chose to replicate with her costume. As you can see, it looks like her mascara is running after a good cry. Beyond that, the rest of her outfit is shockingly accurate. This amazing cosplayer has the whole costume put together, including Taffyta's strawberry helmet, long gloves, and bright pink outfit. Surge Protector. If you've ever been to an airport, you've probably encountered a security guard like Surge Protector. Yes, if you have a run-in with this character, you'd better be ready for random searches, questions about any fruit you might be carrying, and a whole bunch of hassle. While this can be a little bit annoying at times, it's best to remember that he's got a very important job. Surge Protector is responsible for checking people into the game's central station, and boy, does he take his job seriously. Although he is very dedicated to keeping the game's central station safe, he seems to be primarily focused on giving Ralph a hard time. Almost every time the two meet, Surge Protector stops Ralph for what he claims is a random security check. What a headache. Still, there is actually something pretty charming about Surge Protector. Did you know that the actor that voices the character, Phil Johnston, is also one of the writers for the film? Talk about double duty. While the security guard might not be everyone's favorite character, there was one fan that liked him enough to paint himself blue. Not only did he cover himself and his hair in blue paint, but he also decked himself out in Surge Protector's entire costume, complete with gloves, clipboard, and a security badge. It looks like this Surge Protector will definitely be keeping the game's central station safe. King Candy. Without further ado, we present to you the primary antagonist from the film, King Candy. You may remember this candy-caned bad guy from his signature phrase, "Have some candy." With his big bow tie and tiny crown, King Candy is the ruler and most powerful figure in the Sugar Rush game. Before he was at the head of the game, he was actually a very popular character in an old classic racing game called Turbo Time. Back then, he was known as Turbo, and he enjoyed a lot of attention and admiration from his fellow racers. When Turbo Time eventually faded from popularity, Turbo escaped and lied dormant in the game's central station. After that, he quickly became the ruler of the new game and changed his name to King Candy. From there, he ruled the game with an iron fist. Don't you think he looks a little too sweet to be so evil? We did too, but after watching the film, we definitely saw his true colors. Although not the most likable character in the film, one young fan decided to pay tribute to King Candy by replicating his extremely elaborate costume. This young boy really knocked it out of the park, somehow managing to construct a big candy bow tie, candy cane walker, and puffy golden shorts. He even found a pretty convincing bald cap. Now that's dedication. Sergeant Calhoun. Sergeant Calhoun is a no-nonsense lady and one of the primary characters in the film Wreck-It Ralph. Once you know her tragic backstory, it's easy to understand why Calhoun ended up being so serious. It all started on her wedding night when she was set to be married to her one true love, Dr. Brad Scott. Just as the ceremony was getting underway, Sergeant Calhoun realized she'd made a mistake that she would never forget. Usually, the sergeant does regular, very important perimeter checks to make sure the space is safe from cybugs. Unfortunately, but understandably, she had forgotten to do one last perimeter check on the day of her wedding. Because of this, a cybug was able to break into the chapel just as the bride and groom were exchanging vows. Within a moment, the cybug devoured Dr. Brad Scott, and the sergeant's true love was gone forever. After a grave mistake like that, it makes sense that Calhoun would take her job so seriously. Despite her closed-off demeanor, this tough lady is definitely one of the most inspiring characters in the film. She was so inspiring, in fact, that one woman decided to dress up in Calhoun's entire costume. This awesome lady managed to replicate the sergeant's full suit of armor, her hip haircut, and even her large cybug-destroying weapon. We hope she's careful with that. Jubileena Bing Bing. Jubileena Bing Bing must be one of the sweetest racers in the Sugar Rush. Her warm smile and cheerful attitude are definitely contagious, and she is certain to brighten anyone's day with her kind and supportive words. To match her pleasant attitude, her creators gave her a complete cherry-themed outfit. This makes total sense, since Bing cherries are one of the sweetest varietals out there. Her costume is completely cherry red, and her bright red hair is always pulled into pigtails with matching red beads. The cherry on top, of course, is her cherry-shaped helmet that keeps her extra safe on the track. Not only is Jubileena Bing Bing incredibly sweet, but she is also one of the most talented drivers around. Throughout the film, we see her zipping and zooming her way to the finish line like it was easy as pie. For the short time that Jubileena Bing Bing is in the film, she never ceases to inspire hope and enthusiasm. Although Jubileena is not one of the central characters of the film, one fan thought she was so sweet that she needed her own doppelganger. That's right, and this fan didn't miss a single detail in assembling the racer's signature outfit. She's got it all: the bright red pigtails with matching beads, the white t-shirt with 2 cherries on it, and even the sugared cherry helmet. Vanellope von Schweetz. It's time to show some respect because we're about to talk about the true ruler of Sugar Rush, Vanellope von Schweetz. Although this sweet young lady is the game's rightful leader, she is actually viciously bullied throughout most of the film. That's because before the story in Wreck-It Ralph begins, the evil King Candy uses his powers to alter Vanellope's code and turn her into a glitch. This programming change makes it so that the other racers don't want her or her glitches anywhere near the races. Even worse, several of the other racers in the film viciously pick on her for being different. All of this bullying leaves Vanellope feeling outcasted, and as a result, she develops a defensive attitude and a sassy disposition. Underneath her hardened exterior, however, is a powerful and talented racer that is intent on proving her worth to the other racers. Above all else, it is this intense enthusiasm to be accepted by her peers that ultimately leads her to regain her status as the ruler of Sugar Rush. One fan obviously recognized Vanellope's true valiance and decided to completely replicate her costume. This young lady did an incredible job, dressing up in a hip green sweater, tying her ponytail up with a bright red cloth, and placing various little treats in her dark black hair. She looks just like Vanellope does in the film. Fix-It Felix Jr. No matter what Wreck-It Ralph wrecks, Fix-It Felix Jr. is always there to fix it. This energetic and super positive character is definitely one of our favorites from the film. How could you not love this hammer-wielding, heroic maintenance man that is consistently there to save the day? We know we certainly couldn't get enough of him. In fact, did you know that Felix Jr. was actually originally going to be the main character and hero of the film? That's right, he only ended up as supporting role because writer Phil Johnston decided that Ralph would be a more compelling lead. Pretty cool, right? Even though he's not the main character of Wreck-It Ralph, Felix Jr. is a major part of the film and a perfect example of a true hero. His demeanor is always humble, and his outfit speaks to his everyman persona. Yes, Felix Jr. truly represents the best in all of us, and the light that shines on the world through the kind souls that chose to follow it. We were so excited to see that one young boy decided to suit up and give Felix Jr. the love he deserves. You better believe this costume is on point. From the light blue polo to the dark blue cap, this young fan really captured the spirit of Felix Jr. He even got a hold of his very own magic hammer. Wreck-It Ralph. If we're talking about the Wreck-It Ralph universe, we definitely can't leave out the not-so-gentle giant himself, Wreck-It Ralph. After all, the whole movie was named after him. Before we get too deep into his costume, let's talk a bit about who Ralph is as a character. This big wrecker is the primary antagonist of the fictional video game Fix-It Felix Jr. Because of this role, Ralph has always been known as the bad guy. At a certain point, the muscular man decides he's tired of being known as a villain and sets off on a journey to prove that he's not actually as bad as he seems. In fact, his whole goal is to become the hero of a video game and to protect Vanellope along the way. Doesn't seem so bad, does it? Beyond his ambitions, Ralph also has a pretty charming costume. His muscular arms bust out of a ripped flannel t-shirt and a pair of overalls that always seem to be partially unbuckled. Nothing seems to fit right. Do you know what also doesn't seem to fit? Wreck-It Ralph's role as the villain obviously doesn't seem to fit his dreams and intentions. Perhaps sensing Ralph's good spirit deep down, one young fan went the whole 9 yards and did an incredible job of reproducing his outfit. This kid got the costume down perfect, capturing Ralph's huge muscles, partially undone overalls, and even his spiky hair. Is there a Wreck-It Ralph character that